Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the webinar we are holding this morning. Today, we're going to go over an overview of the partner tools that are available on Illinois workNet. And this includes the service finder, the event calendar, success stories, employment 101, the customer support center, assessments, and more. We'll also talk about how you can stay connected with Illinois workNet, the process of becoming a partner, and then we'll open it up for a Q&A at the end of the webinar. I want to let everyone know that we are recording this webinar, and we should have this posted to our Illinois workNet YouTube channel, which will also provide a link for that should be uploaded before the end of the day. But I wanted to get started by just walking through the Illinois workNet homepage, which I'm sure almost everybody on this call knows, illinoisworknet.com. Here is our landing page here. Just below the image at the top, we have sections for different audiences. So we have, employers, job seekers, virtual job fair, and training and services. And so we changed our homepage up a little bit once the pandemic began, and so we had to have a virtual focus for what resources and assistance we could provide for job seekers and employers, and connecting them for resources, employment opportunities, layoff assistance, training programs, and local services that are available. And each of these link to their respective pages. We have quick start guides for employers and job seekers under these Explore Resources tab. We link to the how to get set up in the virtual job fair for employers. For job seekers, we link to the layoff assistance guide here. Under the virtual job fair box, we have another link for employers to set up a virtual job fair booth, and a link for job seekers to search for virtual job fairs. And then finally, under training and services, we have a link to our training guide that provides more information on what types of training programs and providers are available, along with under find local services, what local work support, what the different types of local services that are provided. And we could go into each of these, but there's a lot we want to cover. But we will touch on some of these, including especially the virtual job fair a little bit later. So below this section here, we have our announcements and events. And under announcements, we typically have different announcements that are related to upcoming webinars or workshops. If there's a themed month, for instance, we have National Mentoring Month in January. If there's a themed month or week or day, we'll include a note here. With at the top, we've held this kind of placeholder for individuals and businesses for those impacted by COVID-19. And I imagine when the governor announces the ending the emergency notice for COVID, we'll probably change this up or move this away as we shift back into a more normal sort of workforce time. Under events, we have upcoming events. These include webinars such as the one we're on this morning. For a variety of audiences, job seekers, employers, providers, whether it's a virtual event or in person, these can be viewed and added here. For instance, let's go to view events. Because this first view here, this just kind of offers a glimpse of, the events that are, that day. But if we click that view events button, it'll take us to our view event calendar page, where we can search for events by city or zip code, keywords. We can filter by LWIA. We can filter by how many miles away. We also have additional filters here where we can select different audiences. As you can see here, just kind of going through a few of these, we have some for apprenticeship, business, community organization, employers, job seekers, mature workers, persons with disability, teacher education specialists, veteran, volunteer, youth. Grade levels, we also have a few different ones here covering middle school to post-secondary. Fields of interest, if there's a event that's specific to an industry, we can filter through these options here. Event types, if it's a conference, a convention, if it's informational, if it's a job or career fair, a networking, orientation, webinar, workshop, training. You can see there's a lot of different types of events that we have included in our calendar. And series, this kind of connects back to what I mentioned under announcements, where we might have something for mentoring month. We have several different themed days, weeks, months throughout the year that we'll post events about. And so you can use all of these filters to find events near you. We have in this table below, we can either view it through it with a month list, or if we want a list of the events, we press that button, that'll filter down to just some of that really high level information. When is the event? Where is it? What is the name of it? What time? If there's a physical location, where? What's the type? Who's the intended audience? And if we want to learn more about that, we can click view, and that'll open up more information, including a link to register, just more information about the event, who to contact, where to go. You can add it to your calendar. You can share it a lot. If it's a part of a recurring series as well, you can select the dates and see those upcoming sessions. And for this month view, you can see, on some days there's more than one. So if we click this more, we'll see a list of all the events taking place that day. And if we select on one of those rows, we'll see that information about that event there. Okay, so additionally, if you wanted to add an event, you can just press this button here. Anyone can add an event. You need to have a workNet account, but you need to agree to the terms of service, and then looks like it logged me out here. You'll agree to the terms of service, and then it'll bring up this add event your form here. So we'll give it a title. We'll select the type of event. We'll pick the date range. If it's an all-day event, we can select that. If it's part of a repeating schedule, we can make that selection as well. How often does it repeat? Daily, weekly, monthly, or just specific dates and times, and how long? We can make that there. Location, if we can enter a physical address, or if it's an online event, we can make that designation and add the information there to register. If it's an online event, we can include a URL here. We can add a description, or the about part of the information about the event there. We can also upload files. Acceptable files are Word documents, PDF, Excel, spreadsheets, CSV or comma separated values, and PowerPoint presentations. For audience, or we also have a field for contact, so you can include a point of contact, a name, email address, phone number. That can be included here as well. And then those other fields that we mentioned, and where you can search through the events with some of those filters. You can make more than one for audience, grade level, field of interest, frequency, and series, and you can add the event right there. Additionally, if depending on your level of access, if you're part of LWIA, you may have the ability to manage and approve events in your area, and there's a dashboard view of that. And if you do have that level of access, if you add an event, I believe it'll be approved right away. But the approval process when you submit an event takes, I believe, 2 to 3 business days before it'll get approved. We do have staff that will check on a couple times a week to make sure events just aren't sitting out there. Okay, so below the announcements and events, we have our news section. So you can subscribe to our email list, and we'll talk about where you can find how to sign up for the email list a little bit later. But we do send out specific news, or what we call news items, newsletters about different things. So we have, just in this glance here, we had an upcoming webinar. We'll post about webinars, International Day of People with Disabilities, National Mentoring Month, 2023. And you can view more to see, the past news items. But if you're subscribed to our email list, you should be receiving these emails here. So if you remember a National Mentoring Month email, towards the end of January, this would be that email here if you're subscribed to our list here. So we do have, that backlog of, our notices that we send out. Below this, we have our resources, partners, and programs section. So first we have our guides and tools. And I should actually move this view more button below these icons here, but our guides and tools, these are some of the more frequently used or visited pages or guides that we have in Illinois WorkNet. So we have our quick start guide, how you can just anybody can get started in Illinois WorkNet, our service finder, which we'll talk about in more detail, so that job seekers and employers can find local assistance to meet their workforce goals. We have our job skills guide, our resume builder, which if you were on our overview webinar last week, that's the resume builder there. And if you weren't, we do have that available on our YouTube channel, which I'll also share a link to. Youth resources, Disability Works. We have a site or a sub-site specifically devoted to individuals who have a disability, helping them meet their training and employment goals. Veteran Assistance Guide and Employment 101, which is a tool we'll talk about on this call as well. But you view all of our guides by clicking the View More button. Let's do that real quick. And we can see that there's quite a few here. So returning citizens, virtual job fair, assessments, exploring careers, training credentials guide, digital literacy guide, resume writing guide, social media guide, layoff assistance guide, youth guide, a lot of guides that we have here. Below this, we have our Illinois initiatives. These are some of the initiatives that are taking place in Illinois that we have more information about on Illinois WorkNet or Apprenticeship Illinois, to the Business Hub. That's our sub-site specifically for employers to find any resource they need on a variety of different topics. Our DHS youth programs, funding opportunities page, service integration self-assessment, and a link to more information about the WIOA Wednesday webinars. Below this, we have our state partner resources. Included here is the IWIB, the Illinois Workforce Innovation Board, a link to our WIOA Works sub-site, WIOA e-policy manual. So if you need to refer to e-policy, we do have kind of a library for that e-policy right here, this manual. And we have some of our other partners, Department of Commerce, ICCB, IDES, IDHS as well. And you can view more. There's more on this page as well. Success stories. We'll talk about success stories. We'll talk about success stories now. So we'll have the latest success stories populate here that are approved, and those get approved, I believe, on a weekly basis. But if you're not familiar with success stories, these are kind of testimonials as to the successes of a individual, an employer, and submit. The customer and the employer can submit the success stories, but you can also submit on behalf of them. And it's just a testimonial to someone succeeding through one of the WIOA funded programs or opportunities that's available. And you can view all the success stories here. But yeah, we'll talk a little bit more about success stories in a minute here. But this is where, the latest success stories get, once they're reviewed and approved, the latest ones will populate here. Latest activities. This is where you can subscribe to our email list here. You can enter your email here and click submit and manage your email preferences that way, including do you want to receive emails on a daily or weekly basis? And there's different lists. We have two, one for partners, one for job seekers, one for WIOA, one for business partners as well. Stay connected. This links to our different social media accounts, Illinois WorkNet. And then we have to the right of this, our Facebook and Twitter feeds, our most recent posts. And below this section, we have our articles and tips. Our articles are always updated on a regular basis. And you can with these thumbnails, you can, if you hover over them, you can see preview text of just what is included and what is this article about. And so our latest articles that are updated, they'll populate up here as well. And below we have our footer, where you can also enter your email address here to subscribe. And we have links to our different about our website policies, communication, our partner website, which we'll talk about momentarily, and some of our other subsites. So I mentioned that site for specific for individuals with disabilities. This is Disability Works. There's a link right there. Here's another link to that employer specific website, that BizHub. Link to the e-policy as well. WIOA Works and more are included here. And another thing I wanted to cover while we're on the main Illinois WorkNet site is this menu. So if we click this menu, we'll see these different tabs here that can open up. And the order that these are in are, they kind of mirror the job seeking process. So we have, exploring careers, training and credentials, qualifying for jobs, looking for job openings and recruiting, networking and connecting, layoff assistance, and updates and help is sort of our kind of miscellaneous section here with several guides and other resources. But they're typically set up when you open them up. They'll start with our guides that are kind of relevant to that topic or umbrella. So under Explore Careers, we have our Explore Careers guide. And then we'll get into some of the tools we have or articles. And so we have our guides, we have our tools, our skills and interest survey, career wages and trends, demand occupations. And then we have our articles here for Employment 101, labor market information. And then each section ends with articles, videos, and then resources about that topic. So you can see guides, tools and articles, and then additional articles, videos, and resources. So let's open up another one here just so you can kind of see what I'm saying. For training credentials, we have our training credentials guide, prepare for college guide. Then we have our searches for WIOA approved training programs, public and private training programs. A link to our apprenticeship site, articles on adult education opportunities and employer-based training programs. And then the last three are articles, videos, and resources for that topic. And so you can go through the guides and you can go through the menu here and explore our different pages and guides. What I want to cover next is the success stories. So our success stories can be found under this updates and help section. So we'll click here for success stories. So this page, for success stories is the landing page. This talks about what success stories are. It has videos of success stories that have been recorded. And below we have where you can find and search through the success stories. Keep getting a note that my internet connection is unstable, so hopefully it'll load here pretty quickly. We don't have any other interruptions, but this is where you can search for different success stories by participant type. I mentioned it could be a participant, employer, or community. That's for apprenticeship. You can also search for success stories for specific programs, a program detail type, as well as a geographic search as well. But this talks about what success stories are and includes a link on how to submit a success story. And when we click this link, this will take us to the success story guide, which will provide an overview. We have a video here that talks more in depth about the success stories and how to use the system. But we have three different sections here. So we have participants. This is where if you're working for a customer, they completed some WIOA training through their program, and they're on the other side of it and have acquired a job. They can log into their account and submit their success story. Similarly, if you're working with an employer in a similar situation, they can log in with their account and submit their story. I feel like most of the success stories we have, though, are fall under this service providers. And so this is where where everyone on this call would submit their story. So this would be if you were submitting on behalf of a customer or a business. And if you're submitting on behalf of a customer, there is a search where you can search by their name or their username. And a lot of the information about the WIOA program they're in, for instance, that will populate. You'll select their name and just select the training program that they were in, and a lot of that information will be pulled over there. But below, and again, this video up here provides an overview of how you can submit that. And below this, we have our success story writing tips and different materials, guides for writing a success story. If you're an individual, if you're an employer, or if you're writing your customers' success story or your business's success story, we have more information in these 1 to 2 page handouts here. And we have our success story writing tips here. Right, and I want to go back to our main menu here. And if we open up Explore Careers, Employment 101, that was a tool that I mentioned I wanted to go over. And so if we select this, this will take us to an article about Employment 101. And so what Employment 101 is that it's a tool that job seekers can use that will integrate and pull in a lot of the resources in Illinois workNet. Some of those searches and tools, such as the resume builder that we talked about last week, or so working on their resume, taking skills and assessments to figure out the type of work or what kind of skills, what's important to them in work. It incorporates a wide variety of our tools and resources to help them figure out what they want to do to create a career plan, a job search plan, and ultimately just achieve their goals. So within Employment 101, and this article has a lot of handouts where you can learn more about Employment 101 in a video, providing a more in-depth overview of what is included in Employment 101. But essentially, it's a pre-assessment. It includes a pre-assessment to check the customer's current knowledge, just to kind of get a sense of where they are with their understanding of the workforce and what kind of work is important. And there's a lot of different tools in there, as I said, but there's a self-guided approach where they can navigate through and choose which planning tools that they want to use to again create a career plan and a job search plan, and list out their goals and activities. And at the end of Employment 101, there's a post-assessment that's it's the same questions as the pre-assessment, but the post-assessment will check and see what they've learned in completing Employment 101. And at the end of it, there's a certificate that they can download and include on their resume or portfolio. And so some of the planning tools that are included in there, as I mentioned, you can create notes, there's skills and interest surveys, there's videos that, about the different tools that are available to use. There's career comparison tools, training program comparison, resume and portfolio builder, job tracking tool, worksheets. There's a lot of really helpful information and resources in Employment 101. So I'd recommend checking this out to see if that would be something that would be beneficial for the customers that you're working with. Okay, next I want to go over so this is the Illinois WorkNet site. This is, as you can kind of see, this is primarily for job seekers. There's some information, and resources and links for partners and employers, but primarily this is for job seekers. But to get to our partner site, we can click this icon at the top here for partners, and this will take us to the partner site. And while we're on here, we can see users icon, said partners before. If we click this will take us back to that WorkNet page. So if you need to quickly transition from the WorkNet page to the partner page, you can do so by clicking that link. And I want to walk through the partner site that we have here. So at the top, we have our announcements. As I mentioned, on that WorkNet main page, we had National Mentoring Month, and then we had Career and Technical Education Month listed here as well. So we have our announcements here. Below this, we have our section for global partner tools. So these are tools that are available to all Illinois WorkNet partners. And so some of these we've mentioned, assessments, Employment 101, creating a partner account, customer support center, the calendar, the e-policy manual. We also have links for outreach materials, Service Finder, which we'll talk about in a moment, success stories, virtual job fair guide, the Illinois WorkNet Learning Center, which is a repository for a lot of our professional development courses, recorded partner webinars such as this. And if you have access to EBS, Rapid Response and Trade here as well. And below this, if you're a part of a specific program such as DHS Youth or ISETS, Youth Career Pathways, JTED, or Illinois Works, we have these icons listed here. These are primarily different programs that you have access to. And so these are listed here. And if you're part of these programs, I'm sure you're very familiar with some of the different guides that we have. But you can view, all the programs here by pressing this View More Programs button. And below this, we have our Illinois initiatives. Again, these are different initiatives taking place throughout Illinois. We have WIO Works, WIO implementation during COVID-19, Apprenticeship Illinois, and more. And latest activity section we're familiar with as well. And so that's what the partner homepage looks like. But I also want to cover what we have included in our menu. So the way this is set up is we have our homepage, we have how to become a partner, the partner programs, assessments, the customer support center, the learning center, and then we have different articles for outreach tools, helping individuals, helping employers, a link to our WIO Wednesday webinars. And then we have additional resources for upcoming news and events and resource searches. But I want to check out this Becoming a Partner page. And so becoming a partner, if you are not a partner already, this page provides more information on how to become a partner. So there's three main steps here. The first one is to create an Illinois WorkNet account. And we can do that by clicking this sign up icon. If we go to this real quick, if you don't have an account, this is how you can sign up for one. We have our registration form here. It's the same registration form, no matter if you're a job seeker, employer, or partner. But if it has a red asterisk, that is required information. And so you'll click to submit that registration information, and then you'll have an account. There will be an account confirmation email. But yeah, once you have created your account, that's step one. Step two is to add your organization to the Illinois WorkNet Service Finder. So before you can become a partner, your organization must be listed in the Service Finder. And so what is a service finder? If you're not familiar with the service finder, you can consider this as sort of a directory for job seekers or employers who can come here with, if they're looking for assistance with updating the resume, finding jobs, looking for more information about WIO, or trying to participate in a training provider program, learning more about apprenticeship, or if they're an employer who needs help with training, hiring, and placement. They can come here and they can search through this directory that we have that will find organizations near them that provide different services. So just opening up these filters here, they can search by, for Illinois WorkNet or American Job Centers, sites that offer WIOA services, all partners, special programs. They can search by geographically here or by county. And then they can also add filters of what different types of audiences they serve. Is it general public or youth, veteran, and so forth. So they can add that here. And they can also search for the different services that are provided for individuals and businesses. And looking at a glance here, there's a wide variety here: childcare, food nutrition, legal assistance, job and career readiness, workshops and seminars, recruitment services. And opening up these, we'll see even more different, more filters that they can select and apply that to their search. Well, let's just say, for instance, I'm just going to enter my zip code, do a search here so we can kind of see what these results will look like when they conduct a search. Close this filter box here. So it'll show, so in this search, we found the closest Illinois WorkNet center based on my search. And so we see the information for address, the phone number, their hours, a link to their website, what audiences that this location serves, services for businesses and individuals, a lot of information here. We can also see to the right here, this map, that if we click this pin here, if maybe I was over closer to Decatur, so I would say, well, let's click that one. It'll take me to that in the search, that site, and more information about it. So getting set up in the service finder, going back to our becoming a partner page, adding your organization to the service finder, this is what we mean, adding your organization as an entry in here. And there's a chance that your organization may already be in the service finder, and you can search through here to determine that as well. And so once your organization is approved as a partner location, then it would be included in the service finder. We also have an article with more information about this. Once you've added your organization to the service finder, the step 3, the last step here, is to send an email to our help support desk, info@illinoisworknet.com, and include the following information. The reason for the email. So for example, I would like to request an Illinois WorkNet partner account, your name as it appears in your Illinois WorkNet account, the name of your organization as it appears in the service finder, and your organization's work address and work phone number. And so once the request has been reviewed and confirmed that all the information is accurate, you will then have a partner account. So once you have a partner account, let me go back to the partner site here. This will kind of go into one of the next tools I want to cover. Once you have a partner account, you'll have access to the customer support center. So if you click this here, this is a landing page that provides information about a customer support center, including access. Once you have a partner account, you can click here to log in and access the customer support center. You can read articles about it under partner guidance. For partner training materials and videos, we have training materials and videos about the customer support center. our full list of resources and major updates to Customer Support Center you can stay in touch with here. And this includes online tools. So this includes what what you have access to in the Customer Support Center when it comes to assisting customers. So you can manage accounts for your customers. You can view assessment results for your customers. You can help your customers create a career plan. You can review your customer for outcomes and reports. You can view your customer's progress related to certain services, goals, measurable skills gains, and credentials. The resume builder, you can help your customers create resumes. We also have success stories and worksite placement. And below here, I don't believe we have any upcoming events, that will, talk about the Customer Support Center in depth, but you can view our, upcoming events here in this table. If you'd like to learn more about the Customer Support Center, we do have a link to contact us where, we can, you can make a request to see, what type of event or webinar you would like to have, training wise. But you can see our past events here. And we can, this partner training materials and videos page, we also had an icon at the top there. That'll have our, previously recorded webinars and materials. You can see some of the different topics we covered, just an overview of the tools. Mentioned the career plan assessments, resume builder, managing partner staff and user management. We do have, our tutorials and past webinars recordings here. So you can look through here to see what all is included. But for the Customer Support Center, once you have become a partner, once you have access, once you officially have a partner account, I'm going to do a new screen share here. You will then, now it looks like that logged me out on the other page. One moment. So I want to show one of the features we have here. Well, this is loading for me. If you have any questions, please feel free to add them in the chat ahead of our Q&A. But okay, here we go. So let me do a new share here. And what I'm sharing here, this is just our test environment. These are made up customers. Any information we may come across is not real. So you can see this person we have on test. Their first name is 3 and their last name is 18. So this is actually part of a program that we don't need to worry about on this call here. But when you have access to the Customer Support Center, you'll see the different groups you have access to, and you'll have a personal group for your account. And so if we go here, if we click on this personal group here, we can see our customers. We can see our, if there's a member of your staff that you'd like to add to here as well. You can click this view partners here as well. But if we go to this first tab here, invite others. So when we were saying that you could view your customers' assessment results if they complete them in workNet, this is the way to do it. So you create your account, you have your partner access, you access the Customer Support Center, and you go to this personal group here. At this tab here, invite others, you can email a customer and invite them to join your personal group. And we have PDF instructions that talk about this further, how to invite customers, what type of access, what you'd be able to view, and so forth. So we have this broken out, but you can invite them to your personal group. So once the customer receives that email, they'll click to accept the customer invitation. And then once they do, they'll appear in this view customers list. And so what this means is then you have access to view, well, let's open a couple of these tabs here. some of the things that they have that they've worked on in Illinois WorkNet. So for example, their career plan. You can view their career plan if they've worked on it for a particular program, or the career plan in Employment 101. If they've completed assessments that are included in Illinois WorkNet, they'll populate here. Looks like for this customer, we don't have any assessments that they've completed. The optimal resume, we still need to set that up, but and we'll have an announcement and a webinar for this as well in the future. But when they work on resumes and cover letters and other documents in the resume builder, they'll once they're saved, you'll be able to view them here as well. If you were working with them one-on-one with their resume, that can be viewed here as well. Let's check this other customer to see. Okay, but yeah, so when the skills and interests, let's say this, test customer Lucy Weathers completed the skills and interest survey to see what type of where their skills and interests lie when it comes to looking for jobs in certain industries. Those results will populate here, and you'll be able to view those so long as they do accept that invitation that you sent that customer. So working closely with customers, you are able to view some of the documents and assessments that they complete in Illinois WorkNet. And I want to go back to the partner guide. So there's one other thing I want to cover there. In our menu, we had mentioned assessments. Clicking this assessments button here, this provides an overview of the different assessments that are available for providers and customers. And so we have assessments that look at strengths, employability and transferable skills, interests, work values, personal priorities for employment. And so, the different assessments we have, if we click this first icon here, assessment options, we have self-assessment options and staff-assisted assessments. So we'll click this first one, and this will, looks like we need to update a couple videos here. But we do have videos. We have just a quick start guide of this is the type of assessment and what is offered in this assessment, and a video, a short video about that assessment there. This actually wanted to go back to a different page here. Okay, so for more information about the assessments too, that was this assessment options. That was a very brief glimpse of what is available. But if we click any of these, we have several, we have pages devoted to the skills and interest survey, the Employment 101 survey, self-evaluation of essential skills, worksite evaluation, observational evaluation, and others. So we have more information about those skills there as well, or those assessments, I should say, as well. We also have past training recordings on assessments, full list of materials, partner tool updates as well. So you can learn more about the assessments that are there. Okay, there's one other thing I want to cover. I mentioned the virtual job fair. So back on our homepage here, we have our tables here for employers where they can, let's open up a couple tabs here, the Explore Resources for Employer and Job Seeker. We might be pushing out an update along with my internet connection, which is why some of this is loading a little bit slowly. But this is a quick start guide for employers, and this just provides a brief, kind of section by section of welcome to Illinois WorkNet. Here's what we have available. We have information and resources on recruiting and filling job openings, training resources, layoff aversion, layoff assistance, network for success, and exploring other options. And so that's just a quick look for employers to see what types of information and resources we have available on WorkNet. And that other button for the job seekers, we have our quick start guide getting set up. So here's Illinois WorkNet. We have information and resources again on how to find a job, how to network for success, for planning for training, for getting qualified, and exploring careers. But for the virtual job fair, if we click this setup virtual job fair, this will take us to an overview page for employers if they're interested in one of two things. If they want to simply list their employer booth page, just saying, here's information about our company, here's the jobs we have to offer, learn more about us and apply. They can do so here. They can also, if they wanted to do that and also request assistance with an event, they can do so through here as well. And so this page just provides an introduction and just step-by-step instructions along with videos on how to get set up in WorkNet. And it's a very easy and quick process to get set up. So we just have our introduction, how to get started, how to submit an employer booth, how to edit, update, manage their employer booth, how to request assistance with an event, and how to prepare and attend their event, and after the event, what's next. And so we have information, videos, instructions on those as well. If we go back to our homepage, there's one other button I wanted to select here under virtual job fair. This is search virtual job fairs. So set up, that'll go to that page that we were just looking at where the employers can get started. Search virtual job fairs, that'll just send users down the page to our booth listing, where they can search by keyword, industry, location, or place. We have a calendar view of events. We've seen the event calendar. And this calendar is filtered specifically to virtual job fair and hiring events. Whether or not, our staff, Illinois WorkNet is assisting with those. Going back to our virtual booth page, above the search, we have information and articles and FAQs, quick start guides for job seekers and employers. We also have a note about the search, an important distinction to make, that if you do a search by location or address, some results may not appear to really belong in your area, but the reason that those are showing up is because there are several booths in the virtual job fair booth listing that provide remote working opportunities. We also have this checkbox here, and when you select that, it'll populate the booths that have designated that they do have remote working opportunities. And so, for example, we'll just click on this booth to see what an employer booth looks like. As an example, we have our logo at the top, we have the name of the booth, social media links they've included are available here. We have our link to their website, to their physical address. Under job information, we have a link to their the company's career page or a listing of those opportunities. And we also have the industries that the employer has designated that they're hiring in. We have our description here about the organization, the employer contact, if they have any upcoming virtual job fairs, links to more information are included there, the view all events. That'll link to that calendar view of all the upcoming job fairs that we have in our calendar. And we'll have other organizations too also have previously recorded videos and other documents and helpful links about their organization or the hiring process. And so that's a very quick glimpse of the virtual job fair. Again, we do have those guides and instructions and tutorial videos on learning more about the virtual job fair. Okay, the last thing that I want to go over this morning is how to stay connected with Illinois WorkNet. So if you'll remember, down in our latest activities section, we have the ability to subscribe to our email, subscribe to our different email lists. You can do so here. You can also connect on and follow, like, subscribe on our Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, YouTube, Pinterest, and Eventbrite. And so you can, make those connections there as well. And with that, I'm going to take a pause, have a couple sips of water. But if there are any questions, please feel free to go ahead and ask them. You can either add them in the chat or unmute your mic. You'll be able to ask any questions now. All right, well, if we don't have any questions, we'll go ahead and wind down here. I do want to include, so as I mentioned, there is this has been recorded, and we'll add this to our Illinois workNet YouTube channel, which I've just added a link to the chat. You can also access it through the footer by clicking on this YouTube link, or in our Stay Connected section, we can click this YouTube icon here. And like I said, before the end of the day, we should have this uploaded on there. And with that, we'll go ahead and end things a few minutes early since we don't have any questions. But as you can see, there's a lot of Illinois workNet. I know we covered a lot of information and all these different tools and resources. We have videos, and each one of those items could be their own webinar in and of themselves. But that is a very high level overview of Illinois workNet and the partner site and how to navigate those. And we can see that there's quite a few lot of information to share with job seekers and employers. So we do have one question here. How do you recover a username or password? That's an excellent question. So if you are a partner, if you have partner access, let's see if it logged me out. I think it may have. Let me go back to our test here. Depending on the level of access, you may be able to see, a list of, all the customers in your area, or if you've invited them to your personal group. When you have partner access, when you select view customers, you can select their name, and then you can see, their email address they created with the account, the username. You can also reset their password as well. But now that I'm talking about this, I think John may be referring to your own account. And so the way to recover that is when you go to log in, if you just can't remember your username or password, we do have this button just below the sign in where you can click the forget username or password. And that'll open up a new tab where you can receive an email with your username and a link to reset your password. You'll just enter your email address here and send the email. But if you don't have access to that email or you can't remember it, if you click this other one here, this adds the date of birth, but let's select this one here. You can submit a you can submit a request through Contact Us. You can also access Contact Us in the footer under communication. That works best for you, zip code, reason, in this case, need assistance, help, account issue, what is your concerned, password reset. And you can add, additional information here as well and submit that request, and we'll have a member of our staff follow up with you. If you do have other questions about workNet, you can always request that is available in the footer. That's an excellent question, because I should have included this Contact Us, so thank you for that. Any other questions as we have a couple minutes before 11:30? Well, if there's nothing else, I want to thank everyone again for joining us on this call this morning. We will get this recording added to YouTube before the end of the day. And if there's any questions, please feel free to reach out to our staff through this contact us form here. And with that, I hope everyone has a great rest of your day. Thanks, everybody.